Alrighty, folks, we're 2-0 in our last couple of daily best plays on my premium page. And of course, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. I had the Rays minus $1.20 yesterday, and they got the job done by the final of 7-4. Brandon Lau went 3 for 4 with a homer and 4 RBI. And of course, we had a handful of bench clearing altercations. Pretty interesting game. But the good news is, folks, I have another daily best play going off here today on my premium page. As a matter of fact, I have a $1.99 daily best play going off every single day. And if you want to access that pick, it's only going to cost you just $1.99 for 30 days of service. The link is in the description section below. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my premium page. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is, well, I show you which game I like the best. I currently have over 630 members. We're signed up and active on my premium page right now. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Angels at the Phillies, 6:40 p.m. East. Philadelphia is minus $1.45, totals 9.5. Taijuan Walker, Philadelphia. Giolito, Los Angeles. And Giolito's brief time with the Angels has been pretty disastrous. He's 1-4 with the Angels, ERA of 6.67. Meanwhile, as a team, the Angels lost 5 out of their last 7, and they're winning only 40% of their interleague road games. They're taking on a Phillies club who's got the most home wins since the All-Star break. When it comes to hitting the baseball, there's not many teams out there who do it more frequently than Philadelphia. The Phils are in the top 5 in the league in hits per contest. Bryce Harper's batting .306. Castellanos leads the roster in hits. And if for some reason you faded starting pitcher Taijuan Walker this year, you've lost a lot of tickets. This guy's 13-5 with 113 strikeouts on the year. And out of Walker's last 13 starts, the Phils took the loss only twice. The Phillies did see the overcash in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. Give me the Fightins minus 145, over 9.5. Next ball game, Yankees Tigers, 6:40 p.m. East. Detroit's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Reese Olson for Detroit, Luis Severino for New York. And as bad as Severino's been, well, these Yankee pitchers have dominated Detroit in recent gatherings. New York's held the Tigers to just 2.7 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. And oddly enough, the Yankees allow fewer hits per 9 on the road than any other staff in the game right now. And of course, they're facing a Detroit lineup who can't hit for shit. These guys score fewer runs per contest than any other club besides Oakland. And if you think Reese Olson's the answer here today on the mound, well, just keep in mind he's got only 2 wins on the year with an ERA in the 5s. 7 out of Detroit's last 10 meetings with New York fell under the total. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Give me the Yankees plus $1, under 8.5. All right, next ball game, White Sox, Orioles, 7:05 East. Baltimore's minus 205 at home. Totals 9 runs. Grayson Rodriguez for Baltimore. Michael Kopech for Chicago. Now, Kopech's got 11 losses on the year with an ERA just about in the 5s. And in the White Sox last 10 gatherings with Baltimore, they've certainly had all kinds of problems at the dish. They're averaging under 3.3 runs a game in those meetings I just mentioned. Now, they're going to have to face Grayson Rodriguez, who's got 91 strikeouts in just 87 innings. And out of all of those innings, the righty Rodriguez, he's recorded only 3 losses. And of course, this Baltimore lineup, they can certainly hit the baseball. They're actually in the top 5 in the American League in runs per game. Adley Rutschman's the club leader in hits. Anthony Santander, he leads the roster in RBI. Now, 6 out of Baltimore's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Chicago went 7-3 the over in their last 10. Give me the O's minus 1.5, over 9. Next contest I have for you, it is going to be Nats at the Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Toronto's minus 250 at home, totals 8.5. Kevin Gausman for Toronto, Josiah Gray for Washington. And despite his record, starting pitcher Josiah Gray, he's got 118 strikeouts and an ERA in the threes. He's also backed by a Washington lineup who's tough to get out at the plate. These guys are in the top 5 in hits per game. They're also striking out fewer times per contest than any other club in the National League. Keibert Ruiz, he has been punched out only 41 times this year. That's out of over 400 plus at-bats. Meanwhile, Lane Thomas, he's the club leader in hits. They're facing a Toronto squad on the other side of things who they refuse to perform well when Gausman makes the start. Toronto lost 3 out of their last 4 Gausman starts. They also scored just 7 total runs during that particular span. And no real surprise here, folks. Toronto went just 2-7 straight up in their last 9 Gausman starts as well. And I'll tell you what, as good as their lineup is, the Jays refuse to score runs in their own building. They're a bottom 10 run producing lineup at home. And speaking of home games, the Jays are 14-6 to the under against the National League on their own field. Meanwhile, the Nats are 61% to the under in their interleague road games. Give me the Nationals plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next contest, Astros at the Red Sox, 7:10 p.m. East. Boston's minus $120, totals 9.5. Chris Sale for Boston, Christian Javier for Houston. And out of 127 plus innings, the righty Christian Javier has recorded only 2 losses. He's officially 9-2 on the year with 115 strikeouts. These Astros continue to throw well on the road, actually holding their competition to just 7.6 hits a game in their travels. Now they're facing a Boston club who lost 4 out of their last 7, and they just don't pitch well at home. The Bo Sox allow 9.2 hits a game at Fenway this year, and starting pitcher Chris Sale, he's been no exception to that. He actually comes into today's start with a 4.68 ERA. Now, total-wise, the Bo Sox, they have not seen an under in a few weeks. All overs here lately for Boston. I think it was like 11 or 12 straight games, maybe even more. I know their last 10 straight all got over. Meanwhile, Houston went 8-2 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Astros plus $1, over 9.5. Next ball game, Rangers Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. Texas is minus $145 on the road, totals 9 runs. John Gray for the Rangers, Tyler McGill for New York. Now McGill's got an ERA in the mid-5s along with a 1.73 whip. And even if he does throw well here today, the Mets have certainly stunk at the plate, especially at Citi Field. The Mets are in the bottom 3 in the majors in hits per game at home. They're facing John Gray, who's been very tough to bat against this year. The righty's got 111 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. And as bad as the Rangers have been recently, I think this is a series where they can potentially turn things around. And believe it or not, they're still a top 3 run-producing lineup. I know they've been terrible over the past, couple of weeks, but they're still in the top 3 in runs per game. Adolis Garcia, he's in the top 10 in the majors in both home runs and RBI. Corey Seager bats .341 with an OPS in the thousands. Now, the Rangers have gone 60% to the under in their interleague road games this year. Meanwhile, the Mets are 68% to the under in Flushing, Queens. Give me the Rangers minus $145, under 9. Next contest, Guardians Twins, 7:40 p.m. East. Minnesota's $165, totals 8.5. Kenta Maeda for Minnesota, Xavier Curry for Cleveland, and of course, guys, if you watch my videos, you know that I've been pretty big on Curry this season. Very impressed with his showings. He's recorded only 2 losses in 77 innings. He currently has an ERA in the 3s. And in the Guardians' last 10 ball games with Minnesota, they've really been able to shut down these Twins hitters. Minnesota's averaging just 2.9 runs a game during those 10 head-to-head gatherings I just mentioned. Now, this Twins lineup is striking out 10.3 times a game, which is currently a league worst. And no real surprise here, folks. The Twins are a bottom 10 hit-producing team. Now, pitching-wise, Kenta Maeda hasn't been great for the Twins. He's just 3-7 this year with an ERA in the 4s. 7 out of Minnesota's last 10 gatherings with Cleveland did fall under the total. Meanwhile, the Guardians have gone 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me Cleveland plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Padres at the Cardinals, 7:45 East. San Diego's minus $1.85, totals 9. Blake Snell for the Pods, Adam Wainwright for St. Louis. Now, Waino's been a bit of a disaster this season. He's just 3-9 with an ERA in the 8s. He also has a dicey 1.99 whip. And for those who are interested, the Cards pitchers, they've allowed 9.7 hits a game at Busch Stadium. So collectively, this Cardinal pitching staff's been terrible this year. Stark contrast from last year. Now they're facing a Padres lineup who does manage to get base runners despite their struggles. These guys are walking more times a game than any other franchise besides one. And when it comes to the pitching, the Pods are in the top 3 in the majors in fewest runs allowed. Blake Snell's got double-digit wins on the year, along with an ERA in the 2s. Now, the lefties also punched out 184 batters in just 142 innings. 6 out of the Pods' last 10 gatherings with St. Louis did fall under the total. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, St. Louis saw 3 out of their last 4 at Busch Stadium fall under the total. Give me the Padres minus $1.85, under 9. Next ball game, little NL Central action. Brewers Cubs, 8:05 East. Now, Chicago's minus $1.20 in the friendly confines. Totals 9 runs. Jameson Taillon for Chicago. Wade Miley for Milwaukee. Now, Miley's 6-3 on the year with an ERA of 3.18. The lefty's also got himself a stingy 1.17 whip. Now, the Red Hot Brewers have won their last 8 straight, and they've definitely pounded the baseball during that span. The Brewers have averaged 7.3 runs a game during that winning streak I just mentioned. And of course, Christian Yelich, he's the club leader in just about everything offensively. William Contreras, he is the second highest OPS average in the lineup here today. They're facing Jameson Taillon, who's consistently given up runs this year. The righty's got a losing 7-8 record with an ERA of 5.60. And out of Chicago's last 10 gatherings with Milwaukee, these Cubbies pitchers, they've allowed over 5.3 runs a game. Now, 7 out of Chicago's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Milwaukee went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Brewers plus $1, over 9. Next matchup, Pirates Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. Kansas City's minus $1.20 at Kauffman Stadium. Totals 9 runs. Zach Greinke for Kansas City. Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh. And even though Ovi's stunk up the joint this year, he actually has racked up a good amount of strikeouts. The righty's rung up 129 batters this year. And this Buccos pitching staff, believe it or not, they've actually thrown pretty well on the road. Not great, but hear me out, because Pittsburgh's currently in the top 5 in the National League and strikeouts per game away from home. Now, they're facing a Royals lineup who just can't score runs. They're in the bottom 3 in run production, dead last in walks. And even if they do get some run support for Zach Greinke, he'll probably blow it. He's just 1-12 this year with an ERA in the 5s. 6 out of the Royals' last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Pirates plus $1, over 9. Next matchup, Braves Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Atlanta's the $2.45 favorite in Denver. Totals 12.5. Bryce Elder for the Braves. Austin Gomber for Colorado. Now, Gomber's got a 5.48 ERA and a 1.47 whip. Of course, these Colorado batters are also striking out over 9.4 times a game. They're going to face a 10-win Bryce Elder, who's very tough to hit against. He's got 103 strikeouts, 3.39 ERA. And of course, these Braves hitters, they currently lead the majors in run production and hits. Ronald Acuna is in the top 5 in the National League in batting average and OPS. Matt Olson leads the entire league in RBI. The Braves are averaging over 6.4 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with Colorado. The Rockies saw their last 4 straight at Coors Field get over the line. Give me the Braves -1.5 over 12.5. Next matchup, A's Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's -270, totals 8 runs. Brian Wu for Seattle, Kyle Muller for Oakland. Now, Muller's got an ERA in the 7s along with a 1.89 whip. The A's have also got themselves the worst record in the majors, and they score the fewest amount of runs. They're facing Brian Wu here today, who's got 63 strikeouts in just 59 innings. These Mariner pitchers have also been very tough to hit against in their own building. That's this Seattle pitching staff as a whole, very good in front of their home crowd. They're actually allowing just 3.9 runs a game in front of their own fans. They're also limiting their competition to just 7.5 hits per 9 in their own stadium as well. 7 out of Seattle's last 10 gatherings with Oakland fell under the total. No real shock there. We got good pitching on the Seattle side, bad hitting on the Oakland side. And speaking of the A's, they are 62% to the under against the AL West. A lot of unders in their divisional games. Give me the Mariners -1.5, under 8 in that tight window. All right, next contest, Reds Giants, 9:45 East. San Francisco's -120 at home, totals 8 runs. Kyle Harrison for San Francisco, Andrew Abbott for Cincinnati. And as you guys know, I've been a pretty big Andrew Abbott guy this season. The lefty's 8-3 with a 1.17 whip. Abbott's also got an ERA of 3.16, and he averages over a strikeout an inning. Now, as a team, the Reds did get the W in 6 out of their last 7 Abbott starts, since he averaged over 5.3 runs per ball game during those showings. Spencer Steer's the club leader in RBI and hits. Matt McClain's got the most runs scored on the active roster at the moment. And of course, if you're wondering why I didn't mention Elly De La Cruz, just a friendly reminder, he bats only .245, and he has the 3rd most strikeouts on the roster. But luckily for Elly, the Reds are facing a Giants club who has really struggled as of late. They took the loss in 7 out of their last 10, and they definitely have a tough time at the plate at home. These guys are in the bottom 3 in run production on their own diamond. They're also going to work without Crawford, Pollock, Conforto, and Yastrzemski. The Giants are currently 63% to the under at Oracle Park. Meanwhile, the Reds saw the under cash in 5 out of their last 8 Andrew Abbott starts. Give me the Reds +$1, under 8. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that D-backs-Dodgers game, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The LA Dodgers are -$140, totals 8.5. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers, Zach Gallen for Arizona. But as good as Gallen's been this year, these Arizona pitchers do tend to struggle away from Chase Field. Arizona's pitching staff is in the bottom 10 in runs allowed in their travels. They're also in the bottom 5 in the National League in strikeouts per 9 on the road. Of course, they're going to have to step it up because this Dodger lineup can certainly hit. They're arguably the most dangerous lineup in baseball. It's obviously them and the Braves neck and neck. They're actually averaging more runs a game than any other organization besides Atlanta. And if for some reason, if you want to pitch around them, well, you're going to pay the price. You're going to give up, your fair share of free passes because these Dodger batters walk more times a game than any other team in baseball. They are very patient at the dish. Mookie Betts leads the roster in walks, homers, RBI, OPS. I don't know what to do with the guy. You can't pitch to him. But he's patient. So, even if you pitch around him, he's going to walk. Mookie Betts is just an outstanding player. Probably not going to get the NL MVP. I think that'll go to Acuna, but Mookie definitely should be heavily considered. Freddie Freeman Another guy having a great year. Second highest batting average in the majors. Fourth highest OPS. Now, they're also in good hands with starting pitcher Bobby Miller. It's not all on the offense. Miller's 7-3 with a 1.16 whip this year. 6 out of LA's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Give me the Dodgers, minus $1.40, over 8.5. Now with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Phillies, minus 145, over 9.5. Yankees, plus $1, under 8.5. Orioles, minus 1.5, over 9. I'm 2-0 on my last 2 daily best plays on my premium page, and the link for that site is in my bio. The daily best play costs just $1.99 for 30 days of service. Give me the Nationals, plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Astros, plus $1, over 9.5. Rangers, minus $1.45, under 9. Guardians, plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Padres, minus $1.85, under 9. Brewers, plus $1, over 9 runs. Pirates, plus $1, over 9. Braves, minus 1.5, over 12.5. Mariners, minus 1.5, under 8. Reds, plus $1, under 8 runs. With my next and final free pick, give me the Dodgers, minus $1.40, over 8.5. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And of course, as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast, absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But guys, if you only need one pick a day, your best bet is to do that daily best play. Costs just $1.99 for 30 days of service. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. I try to give you guys as much value as I can for as little with regard to price. But anyway, guys, most importantly, the best price is free, and I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information right here on YouTube. With that, folks, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.